Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and I'm on my way to just go. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I needed to get out and be in my element, be in my office, which is my SUV. But I want to continue on a video that I made yesterday. Things changed since I made that yesterday. I really hadn't finished, but at the end of it, there was a child that was at the park, and where was the mom? And that whole situation, I'm sitting there making commentary over it at the end of that video, so didn't really finish that video. It's too distracting. I don't know how she made it, got to get to her child in time. There was no way I was going to be able to chase the child, of course. I don't know. Anyway, but I was talking about, at least I think I was talking about, overall narcissistic people who exploit others. Okay, and I was using a life example, my life update example, as an example of, you know, when and it was dealing with healthcare. You know, I've been having these healthcare issues, trying without insurance, with insurance, had gotten new insurance. I canceled that insurance. I don't know if I got that far. I canceled it Monday, and I got a new one. Okay, I haven't paid for it yet. You know, this is through the marketplace, health insurance marketplace, however they use their title, and I'm going to be paying for this one. And I had said before that paying for it, you know, I wouldn't use as much, but I'm more concerned about, I'm not concerned about the money. I'm concerned about not having health insurance after my experiences this year, twice in May and once in June, of going to the ER, to one of the local ERs at a hospital and emergency rooms, and being treated so poorly because I didn't have health insurance. This is Texas. I'll keep mentioning that. And then that was bad, and I was so sick during that time. All of May. It started actually in April, and when I was seeing a doctor that, and I'm going to say that I'm being very immature by calling him this, but it's the same. It's along the line of, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Why are you doing that? But along that line, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you know. But this is Dr. Frankenstein, who is his own monster. That's the way I don't know why that person's driving like that, but that's how I put it. Dr. Frankenstein, who's his own monster. What am I parking this? Okay. Can I go? Can I go? Can I go? Go. Anyway. Now, why is she driving? Yeah, I heavy-footed it, didn't I? Anyway, let's get back to this. I'm in a mood because besides the weather is, yeah, kind of like it's better just to sleep in all day, but I don't want to do that. But it's very, yeah, cloudy, and no rain expected though. Anyway, so where did I leave off in all of this? And back in April, I was seeing that one. I didn't have health insurance, and he was doing the medical cherry picking, medical lemon dropping. I am 100% sure. I even mentioned it to him, and he had that stare, narcissistic stare. I wanted to make a video separately about that and how I've changed my view on it. I'm a social behavioral scientist. My degrees are in psychology and sociology. Now, since I've been doing these videos for 8-9 years, I don't know, I changed my mind about how I see that there is a separation, as I see it, I could be wrong, between the narcissistic stare and the psychopathic stare. Okay, yeah. To me, and I've always, you know, felt like too many people put too much emphasis on everything being narcissistic. But then I recently thought of myself, I was thinking about this, how some of it, I'm going to give me something to eat, how, aren't they all kind of a little bit on the psychopathic kind of way, in a way, and there's just different degrees to which they behave, or different types of behaviors And I'm kind of sold on that, though, because then I found that. And, of course, I could say that's, what is the term? Bias. Oh, what is that term? Yeah. Confirmation bias, which I'm well aware of, and I don't want that. But I do feel that way in a way. That all of them have this hint, in my experience, in my view, like I said, could be wrong, that have this hint of that psychopath, sociopathic kind of behavior. Personally, maybe I just haven't met any who are mild. What I've met more is narcissistic people with narcissistic behaviors, some who are diagnosed as borderline, and who have histrionic behaviors. Okay, don't know what's going on there, but I drove up to order, and she said, what was that? She said, we're only serving chicken products. I said, nope, no fish then. Okay, never mind, because I only get fish. I get a double filet fish burger, that's it. And I take the buns off, and so I only eat the fillets. That's my meal, yeah. With my original, a rare health condition, that's my meal. And that's kind of pushing it, so really, because, carbohydrates. Remember, I don't give any form of advice for anything. Don't take this as medical. I have a rare health condition. This is just about me. Anyway, to get back to this, with the psychopaths and all that, I mean, it's just, to me, that's how I feel about it. I could change my mind. Like this with the narcissistic stare and the psychopathic stare. The narcissistic stare, to me, and I have seen this plenty in my 60 years, is, in other people, is they're really, this is how I see it quite often. Now, there could be other ones that do it other ways and for other reasons. But basically, it's kind of, to them, maybe it's, how dare you talk about yourself? Talk about your experience of the day. If you had a bad day, how dare you? How dare you talk about anything but them, and that is to glorify them, to say that they are the best people on the planet, or to listen to them talk about what their day was, and to say, oh, praise them, this kind of thing. And if you're not, they're just kind of staring out there, just staring. They may be looking at you right in your face. And if something actually interests, they're thinking it's a while about themselves, and they're really not paying attention to the words you are speaking. But if something infiltrates into their mind, you'll see that one eyebrow lift. One eyebrow, one. I can't do that. I've been trying to teach myself how to do that, but can't. Okay, no, I kind of can't, but no, can't. And, but they will raise that eyebrow because how dare you? Seriously, don't you know that this world is all about them? Okay, there's that. Now, the part of them exploiting others, narcissistic people, I think that's the one that hints at the psychopathic, sociopathic side. Okay, and the definition of, all the other ones kind of fit, like I see them myself. Like I said, I could be wrong on all this. But the part of exploitation of others to suit their own needs and means and all that, that to me is more like psychopathic, seriously. Sociopathic. Like if somebody is psychopathic, they want a wife or a husband or someone who's going to support them as their significant other. And that's going to do everything for them so they can, whatever they want to do. Or if they don't want to do anything, who's going to support them? And that means they feel that they see that they belong to a certain group. That thing. Okay. But that to me, I see as part of narcissism, is the part when they think they elevate themselves up to a certain type of people that they fit in with, that they really don't. But they think that they do. Okay. Now, so that stare is like they're just thinking, going on in their mind. They're just blocking you out, tuning you out, and thinking about themselves and glorifying themselves, praising themselves, or thinking, That's psychopathic side, maybe thinking about how can they exploit a person, along that line. Okay. Now the psychopathic, sociopathic, that side, a stare, the psychopathic stare. And see, I was taught that psychopath, or at least I have a vague memory of it, many moons ago, is that they have one person as a target, usually one person. I would stretch it to say one group, but let's just say one person. And the sociopathic person, the sociopath, doesn't care who it is. It's anybody in society, anybody. Okay, they would stand to reason. My degrees are in both psychology and sociology. It would stand to reason they would be divided this way also. So anyway, but that stare is more like they're looking at this person and thinking, could possibly, and there could be other ones, like I said, all this could be other ones, other things, but looking at that person and thinking, how can I use this person? And this person to me is despicable, does not need to be on this planet, does not need to get anything to, of what they want. It's all about me. That's the narcissistic part of that psychopathic part. Okay, in my view, sociopathic part. See, but the part about it all being about them is the psychopathic part. But the rest of it, looking and giving that evil, putting an evil feeling, an evil, angry, really negative, whatever, towards it could be a total stranger. Okay, I see it as the psychopathic or sociopathic side. Like, yeah. You could expand on if it's a person or if it's a group or it's anybody. And then they're plotting and planning, that side of it. The dark triad, dark tetrad, side. Anyway, but that's how I see that. Okay, how did I get started on all this? Well, let me go and see what kind of offers I get. And I'm going to have to think, where is another McDonald's around here? No, we'll see. Okay, maybe I should just get on with this video. Another example of it. Things changed quickly since yesterday. Couldn't sleep last night. I was supposed to go to have an appointment at the one. Like I said, I dropped my insurance. Saw one doctor at one place. It was, but then I was supposed to go see this other one I had been seeing at for many years, off and on. And it was for people without insurance. I was supposed to go today, did not go. Apparently the young woman that caused me a lot of problems, and I really did not, I really thought she should not be working there because her behaviors were very odd. I'm a social and behavioral scientist. I don't diagnose, but yeah, they were not good behaviors about 6 or 7 months ago. I don't know how long. And yeah, they kept her, and they usually have revolving door jobs there. They train people there, and they kept this one. And I don't think she remembered who I was at first when I called to make the appointment. When she called to remind me of the appointment, she was biting at the bit to say something. Her voice was very different. It was very rude, and she was, like I said, biting at the bit, chomping at the bit, however you put it. She wanted to say something bad, but I hurried and rushed to say, okay, I'll be there, bye. I wasn't there. I could not sleep last night because I was thinking, I'm trying not to say certain things about her. It's not about any of the things I taught against, like racism, sexism, classism, ageism, any of that. It's not about any of those. It's about her attitude about herself. And on the one hand, she elevates herself. I said I wasn't going to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. She elevates herself. I've said this before about her, to where she's the person taking the phone calls. She's not licensed to practice, but she makes up her own rules, and she elevates herself up to that of the nurse or the doctor, as though because she works for them, because she is associated with them, therefore she is like them, and she has the right to do things. That's what she showed me. Okay, her attitude back then. But they never would give me her name, and they would misspell her name. I would ask for it because I was going to report her. Seriously. I mean, why are you parked behind me? Dangerous, okay? that kind of attitude, how she was, it was dangerous. It should not have been in there and working in, I'm serious. I've never ever felt like that before. Never. In all my 60 years, this woman should not be there. And with the way what she was showing me, it was unbelievable. And very, to me, anyway. So I couldn't sleep last night, and I'm like, this kind of, I don't want to be associated with this kind of thing. With somebody who would keep that person working there. Okay? I don't want to be associated with a practice that would have somebody like that working there. I don't want to see something like that. And it was really bothering me. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back and try to get a health care insurance. I had already considered it. I had been considering before all of this. And I had said earlier in the year that, you know, I would never even use that much. Well, life is trying to prove me wrong. So, you know, to pay for it out of pockets, it's extremely expensive. Even the woman I just talked to, she goes, whoa. And she works for them. When I told her how much it is for me to pay. And I agree. That's unbelievably unaffordable. Okay, I would not be getting it subsidized. What is it? I don't even know the term for it. It's not my jargon. It's not my field, so I don't know the jargon. But whatever it is, I would not be. That's what I was doing before, because had been a homemaker in Texas. In order to, I don't want to go in there and act as though I'm a voice of authority, because I'm not. But I had to prove that I could make a certain amount. Well, I had too short of a time to do it, and it kept getting shorter and shorter because of the heat dome. And what I was doing for the health insurance was not the money, but to prove that I could work. That was doing this DoorDash and Uber Eats kind of things. Okay, because that way I could go home when I need to, because I have the problem with the feet, ankles, legs swelling, which I never did know before. But this really, part of it was helping and part of it was hurting, as it turns out. So, I'm going to do a really short one. You know, really, from now on, work really short. But I'm not going to be needing it for that. I'm doing it for me now. Because I learned during doing this, these deliveries, when I would go by myself, it was so peaceful. It was. I've mentioned for years that I can't do videos at home because it's just too noisy, too much going on, and it is. And my attention gets, you know, you talk about me getting distracted. Can you imagine what I would be like at home? But, too much going on. So this is for me, and it is calming to me. I don't understand it. I mean, I understand that part, but calming to actually do the deliveries. Seriously. It's probably because I've said this before, that when I was younger, for like 20 years, my parents, my dad mainly, had called me and Adam gypsies. You know, he and I. Because we did a lot of road trips, traveled a lot, moved to a lot of places. I got married when I was 18 to him, and we did a lot of traveling, moved around, like I said, for around 20 years. And it was always calming to me. It was always something different. So, yeah. So now it's still kind of the same. But anyway, so a lot of that stuff changed, which I'm going to want to do videos about how that, I want to do videos about how that, these behaviors of these people, like when I try to call, I got this insurance, I did not pay for it. I said, I want, this time I'm going to do it differently. And now I'm trying to raise that eyebrow. But for some reason that happened. Oh, I'm going to do it differently this time. I want to have the names of doctors, physicians, you know, PCP to endocrinologists in this area, and I'm going to check them out use reviews, and check them out as far as calling their offices and seeing if I'm reach with any adult mean girls, you know, this kind of thing. And how is there a focus on money? Social and behavioral scientist. I was a student, just a student alone. I taught at college and university too, but just a student alone, both undergraduate and graduate, for over 20 years. I was a career student. I wanted to know what I know. So I wanted to see if I detect any of this, and if it is, scratch off no. And if I can't find any under this insurance, I'm going to change to another one. Period. I'm not going to do, there's no guarantee, because, you know, first impression people, you know, you don't see their true colors till later on. Okay, so I did all this, and it took me, it was a bad first impression, because to get through to the phone number, to get to somebody through their phone number that could actually, okay, this kid's gonna, there's a kid sitting on the fence right in front of me, well, to the left of me, but just kind of right there. Teenager. Anyway, so I don't want him in the video. But, oh, here comes a bunch more. They're laughing at him. They think he's funny. Okay. Okay, it's a group of boys. I don't know. Maybe they were a little older. They didn't, oh, now they're not going to let him in. Well, okay. Anyway, where was I? So, not a good impression when it took me several, they had given me one phone number to call to find out information. I called that number. 45 minutes later, I finally got 5 different people. I finally got a woman who didn't work in that department, as they said she would, and they said all during those calls and all that, being on hold and all this stuff. And she said, "I'm going to help you," because that's definitely, more kids, definitely not a good impression. And all the while, whenever I was putting on, I said, this is not something I want to pay for. Every time I call, it's going to be this kind of crap. You know, really? So, okay, one allergy attack later. So, that really was not a good impression. And it had something to do with being in Texas. They had to have a certain person who was licensed to help in Texas. First guy wasn't. And that took me, I don't remember how long, 10 minutes or something. But 4 minutes just to get through their automated system. No joke. And however long until I got to him, he put me on hold because he says he's not licensed. And just we would just worsen from there. Like 45 minutes or so, maybe longer. Yeah. And so this woman who doesn't work in that helped me. She gave me some phone numbers to the physicians. And the very first one, what are the odds? I was telling Adam about it, and I cracked up laughing. And he reserved it, but he said, "Yeah, that's odd," you know, because it's his friend. What are the odds? The very first one she gave me, I had no idea, no clue that he was under this plan. None. So I didn't have health insurance. Oh, here, a little close to me. Somebody parking. But anyway, it was Dr. Frankenstein, who's his own monster. And I could not help myself when she said his name. I said, "Oh, no." She said, "What?" I said, no, not and she goes, "Is it because it's a male or a female?" Or is it a female? And I said, "I fired him." And she laughed, and I laughed. Okay. Because she may have thought that I was being somehow prejudiced, which would be so far from the truth. You know, I taught at college and university against racism, sexism, ageism, classism, elitism, on the negative isms, as I call them, and everything else involved. And, you know, whatever else I had to teach involved in sociology. I can, like I said, my degrees, I can teach in both psychology and sociology. Depends on the university, of course. Don't plan on doing that anytime soon or ever again, possibly. Had enough of that, but okay, good old losing the voice, always fun. But what kind of car is that? Anyway, I don't know why this tree limb's sitting there, but I don't know how it got there, of course. Anyway, so I mean, what are the odds? I was telling Adam, I said, put everything else aside. I said, what are the odds he would be the first one? And like I said, you know, like I didn't know he was on that she mentions. That's not a good sign. I said, does this keep telling? I don't believe in signs. I said, does this keep telling me? Like I said, I don't believe in this. Not to use this insurance. I only need it for 2 months. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try each one of them, you know, that I can hear about. And maybe a third one, maybe whatever. Now, I'm paying for this out of pocket. I'm not really concerned about the money, like I said. It's about having the insurance at this point. But next year, I can prove that I can make that much money because I will have the whole year instead of what it would be right now is almost like 2.5 months. And a little bit here and there because of the heat wave, heat dome, heat. I wasn't able to do it. Okay. All this time, and I didn't start this until end of July. So, yeah, but next year I'll have the whole year, all 12 months, all 365 days to be able to earn enough money instead of trying to pack that much into 2.5 months and a little bit here and there. You see? Big difference. So I just need that for the rest of this year because I kept telling Adam about more than one thing. Once you see the light, you don't want to go back into the darkness. And that's how I felt about going back to that. I was trying to, well, I did, and I do feel this way. I had said that these ones that they don't have, they're not going to make any money. Yeah, you might, I would get them to focus on what I need to focus on. And the ones that are for people without insurance, they're not trying to make money off of my insurance card because they don't take people with insurance cards, and they don't get kickbacks as far as I know. And so so I'm gonna have another one, and I'm gonna see how many tests like that one that did the other one. I saw a nurse practitioner who wound up getting a $800, almost $900 worth for one visit. Running up the bill, padding her bill, whatever she was doing with her bill, to get it to where it's almost $900 on blood test now. Blood test. Never in my life, in 60 years, have I ever seen something like that. And so she could put it through with my insurance, but still, somebody has to pay the other portion, me. That wasn't the problem. It was how dare she not tell me. And I was so new to it, naive. I haven't had health insurance in over 20 years. Not over, maybe around 20 years. Maybe 15, I don't know. And I really have been feeling I'm better off without it. But at the same time, I need it because if I have to go to the hospital, it all goes back to this. If I have to go to the hospital, I want to have insurance. But they're also trying to put me on Medicaid, in which I didn't know. Nobody had told me that until this girl Monday or so told me about a young woman. Not girl. She's not a girl. She's a young woman. Told me about it, that they automatically put it through, or they did put it through for Medicaid. Well, I live in Texas. Okay, have I mentioned that? Let me mention it again. I live in Texas. They did not renew their whatever for the whatevers and all that stuff. What do you mean renew? Did they ever have it? I don't know. But anyway, what are the odds that it'll happen? I have edema and the swelling of the legs, feet, all that. And that's supposed to be one thing that you can get disability for. But this is Texas. Did I mention that? And you are really close. People are really close here. And if you hit my car, woo. Okay, let's see how you do it. Thank you. He kind of looked up at me and went, "Oh, somebody's watching." But anyway, anyway, I think that's enough. And I have some phone numbers I'm going to call. I have 5. But the interesting thing, okay, somebody else. The interesting thing is, other than that, it was first one, Dr. Frankenstein, who's his own monster. Other than that, is she kept trying to give me another city. Guess which one? Richardson. People leave me alone about Richardson. Seriously, I don't want to go to Richardson. I lived there before, but I don't want to go to Richardson, okay? I live where I live. That's where I want to go this time. Wrapping this up. I'll talk to you on another video. So I moved my car, and just for the record, I want to add a little more here. They are serving fish. I called and asked when they were going to be serving the full menu. Figured something might have been fixed. It was their grill, and it's still their grill. It's supposed to be an hour or so. But he said, no, we're serving fish. And so I got fish, and here it is. There's a big bubba truck, is what I call them. Some of the bubba trucks these days, they're new. Sitting next to me, it's a big one. And with the king cab, it's a Silverado, okay? And they're taking their half out of the middle. 2 parking places. It was there when I drove up, but it's taking 2 spaces. It's brand new. It's got the brand new sticker on it. So I moved from that one because they parked really close to me, and the other one, plus I went through drive-through. But anyway, just thought I'd add a little bit. I'm gonna sit here and then I'm gonna get to work. I'll probably make another video after this. I want to get to move on to these topics without the background information. We'll see if I can ever do that. We'll see.